What's up, wrestling fans? Thank you for listening to the Steve and Jay Show. I am not Steve, but don't you worry your pretty little heads, because this guy's sitting right over here to my right-hand side. He happens to be the Hall of Famer, Steve Frazier. I'm Jason Courier, nice. And if you're a wrestling fan like we are, please click subscribe down below and come back sometime and hang out with us. We love talking wrestling.
Crack a beer.
Crack a beer with us. Let's talk some wrestling. Speaking of talking wrestling, we are going to call this, the Kayfabe Conversation Hour?
I would. I think that's suitable.
We're not going to actually talk about individual matches. We're just going to kind of talk about what's going on.
Just in general, right? Just give an idea what's going on.
Mostly WWE, actually all WWE today, but we'll mix in some Ring of Honor, and that's pretty much all we watch is NXT.
Right. Just a little assortment
WWE,
like that, you know.
And Ring of Honor.
And I'm starting to lean towards all of them more action-packed. More.
Yeah, I'm digging Ring of Honor, you know that.
Faster pace, and well, you're the one that got me into it. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for it, too. September 1st, I believe, is All In, so that'll be...
See, that's amazing.
Be fun stuff.
Even with New Japan, too.
Yeah.
Like, I treed off and branched off and started seeing what was going on around other than WWE.
Yeah.
Pretty cool action. Good stuff. So what you got, yeah?
Speaking of WWE, on Smackdown this week, we'll start with that. We had a new, now 5-time
good accomplishment
WWE Tag Team Champions, the New Day. They did not beat the Bludgeon Brothers at SummerSlam. There was a wonky,
but yet now
disqualified finish that pissed me off. I went off for a little bit.
That was a little unfortunate how that ended and how that wrapped up.
Yeah,
it was like that's how you're gonna do it.
And then they come back on Tuesday, and Eric Rowan actually supposedly injured his bicep.
Yeah, so I was asking you earlier. So what happened with that?
I don't know. I know he had it wrapped up during the match, and that he tore his bicep.
Oh, it's pretty bad then, right?
I would imagine he's going to be out for a while. Yeah, he's got to be out for a while.
I mean, so you do a lot of lifting, right? So I'm pretty sure.
Especially with what they do, like they're a powerhouse kind of team.
Now, what do you think their future is going to be with this, though? I mean,
I don't know what they're going to do with him now.
What's the other one going to do? Like, is it just on pause, or is he going to be singles now, or?
They have to, I would think, right? I mean, it's kind of almost.
But then you got
decent timing with the whole Matt Hardy thing and how he's supposedly retiring soon, and now what are you going to do with Bray? Maybe
I understand
But
I understand that, but let him do his own thing and then actually do really good with it, and then when Homeboy is ready to come back, then what do you do?
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like pretty much, because that's going to be a long time that he's out.
He's going to be out for a while, yeah.
Yeah, so...
I think for 4, 5, 6 months.
Can't expect the other one not to wrestle and not to do his thing, you know. And that's the unfortunate thing about tag teams is, you know, and I think that's why even too they ventured and do their singles. We're like, hey, let's check them out.
Well, and they always break up the tag teams. It's long term they generally don't like keep guys together. They don't have good storylines for them. They don't.
And that's where New Day comes in.
Yeah,
I mean,
done
pretty impressive. 5 times. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not a fan, but I'm not going to hate on their stuff. And that's got to be a good turn for, you know, like maybe Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 times.
Yeah.
5 times.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, you know, and booty holes and pancakes. I call booty holes. You know, and the pancakes. And
I'm kind of over the whole
the unicorns.
Ready for him to move on to something
But just
else.
the way that they can control a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they've been through so many fashions, you know, and so many, you know, little different looks, but still the same tag team.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I said, they're not my favorite. I'm not a fan. But I will say, hey, you know what? They got to have a run for, you know, Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I would think. And hopefully they're one that they actually keep together, too.
Well, and that's the thing. Like
they have
said.
so far, but hopefully.
And they like to separate them, you know, and they just are one of the lucky ones that then what do you do? Because, you know, like they all tried to do their little separate things and it didn't work. You know, it was entertaining and, you know, they needed the next guy as much as they needed them to, make their moves more, I don't know, impacted or whatever.
Well,
right?
in WWE, they're famous for that's the storyline is they don't know what to do with them once they get to a certain point, and then okay, well let's just break them up.
Yeah.
And start because they get to a certain popularity level, and then they want to make those guys individuals.
Well, that's a good conversation for later that we have on our topic too, though. What's going on. So I mean that's a really good conversation starter too, because that was on the opposite. So what's the next one we got, dude?
Well, we can actually just talk about the Shield now.
You want to set it up?
Well,
might as well, right?
Yeah. So it was a pretty cool moment on Monday Night Raw. Roman Reigns had a title match against Finn Balor.
Yeah.
And
he should have come. He should come out. He should have come out in his alter ego.
He just did it at SummerSlam, which was a cool surprise.
And it would be great to do that because it was an open challenge, right? I mean, so when was the last time that anybody's done an open challenge like that?
I know, yeah.
It's a
John Cena move.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so Finn Balor, actually Roman called out Finn Balor and pretty much said, hey, this guy didn't get his rematch that he deserved, and he's about to get a title shot, basically. And he said, next week after week, I plan on coming out here and doing this again, but this week I'm calling somebody out individually.
Now, Jay, tell me what you think about. I think it's a good move for that. Like you say that the crowd reaction when he comes out is totally opposite of what you think of what he would. He's the title holder, So are they trying to sway?
Well, and a lot of the characters during the Attitude Era, when the WWE was at its peak, they were kind of tweeners. Like a lot of the main characters are kind of tweeners. So instead of maybe turning Roman full on heel like they probably should, because he gets tons of heat.
He should. He's already doing it.
Then maybe doing some sort of a tweener thing that is in between. Maybe that's the answer, and maybe that'll be better.
Well, I remember back in the 90s, though, too, we had fashionism, I guess you would say, like DX, and tag teams like that as a group rather than three.
Little factions, yeah.
Little factions.
Instead of
so
tag teams, right.
I think that's where they're trying to pump the Shield to. They're obviously things haven't worked, and they need to switch it up. I mean, that's where Evolution comes in. I know there's a whole thing behind it. I understand that, but they're obviously willing to make different changes to maybe get us more involved, meaning viewers, and make the storyline more interesting, and be more personal. Yeah. Like with KO. I mean, that was pretty messed up. Yeah. How he was talking about all that stuff to AJ. Yeah.
You mean?
I mean, not KO. Holy crap!
Wow.
Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Jinx. Samoa Joe. So.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff like that. So you could see that they're pressing and searching for something. I know it's like a bunch of freaking idiots, right? I started it, though.
That was a kind of a cool moment, too, on SmackDown when he attacked AJ and did the, ooh, Wendy, because AJ said, you say my wife's name one more time, and he beats his ass and, ooh, Wendy.
Ooh, yeah. So I see them, like, trying to reach for that. And I get it, but with the Shield though, I mean,
it's cool to see him back. It's a fun thing. It's the only way that Roman's really going to get the pop that they want him to get, as far as any kind of anything positive.
And that's what we're getting at is this switch to get people back into it, because they need to do something. And
at some point, if that's what they have to do to get Roman over, you would think that that's what they would just do and just keep it that way, instead of turning Dean against the other two, which they'll probably do next.
They're going to do that eventually.
Yeah,
he did it last time, right?
He did it last time. It was Seth, so this time it'll probably be Dean.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Well, speaking of switching things up and doing switches, what happened? What was the next thing that was pretty cool to you that built it up? As far as SummerSlam went.
As far as what do you mean? Oh, the whole Ronda Rousey
and then
thing.
With Monday Raw, and she gets the title, and this is our first little...
Yeah, so first off, my whole thing is, when was the last time they had a presentation for any champion?
No
women, men, whatever.
So that was red flag one.
So number one, I'm calling bullshit already. So they had
I know you weren't a fan of that
presentation
whole thing.
and then and then Rhonda gets on the mic and she's telling all the competitors, because all the women's competitors,
They're all around the ring, right?
The ring,
Right.
and they're
Yeah, they're
doing
all
this
circled,
big ceremony thing, and Stephanie's making a big presentation.
Yeah.
She's saying that the whole thing was to play up the whole thing where Stephanie's taking credit for creating the Ronda Rousey that is the WWE Ronda Rousey, basically, and taking this UFC fighter and making a sports entertainer out of her.
Well, you're right. And two, she's a woman, right? Two women face to face, and then saying that I created Evolution, and you're going to be the top queen of Evolution, and so let's just be on good terms, right? Remember, like, we're going to be friends now, right?
So that's what they're playing up.
So now you're going to be under my wing. You got safety, right? I got you.
Rhonda said,
and Rhonda was
she
like,
said, well, you're just here to break people's arms. Stephanie did to Rhonda, you're
Yeah.
just here to break arms. And she said, no, I'm just here to break arms of those that deserve it.
I'm here to
Did
break
the little
yours.
judo thing, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I was there to break Stephanie's
And
arm.
sloppy, and what, for 5 seconds?
Yeah, I know.
And then you see her and Alexa in a sling.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
So
Okay.
what I think would be cool is if they set up some sort of Shayna Baszler thing, because Shayna just dropped the title. So whenever they have champs drop titles in NXT and they're champs that seemed like they've kind of peaked out where they're at in NXT, they usually get a call up.
Maybe she gets that little surprise call up for Evolution.
See, I don't know if
Maybe
they're going to
they
wait
save
that
that.
long.
Maybe they save it for that.
Yeah.
For that little, dynamite boom reaction.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, what are you going to do with Shayna now in the meantime? Now she's the champ that's dropped her title.
Keep doing what she's doing.
Character-wise, what do you kind of...
Keep doing what she's doing.
Yeah.
Keep doing what she's doing. More the reason, right? Because she lost her title. And then all of a sudden get a call up.
You can have the rematch.
Because
and you
Stephanie
can do a
said
little
the
bit more
future,
with it.
the then, and the now. And I would assume that she would be a part of the Evolution. I would assume.
Yeah.
And then
and we saw the women's or the Evolution poster leaked out on Reddit.
Yeah.
We saw it.
You said that to me.
Yeah,
It was pretty cool.
Shayna Baszler was
October
on that.
28th, right? 28th. Yeah, she was.
October 28th,
It was
yeah.
like what, 6 girls? 6 girls.
No, there's quite a few. There's
But the front ones that stick out, there were 6 because it was all by 6s. And it was probably like 28, 20 something
there's
girls.
quite a few
in there.
girls in there.
But the first front 6 stood out, and I think she was one of them. I think she was on the end of the.
No,
left.
she was in the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So I mean,
still, she's on the poster. So regardless of where she's at on the poster, she's still on the poster.
I think you save it, because then even then you just totally wasted that surprise and that shock factor. Because then, like what you said, what do you do from there in between now?
Right.
If she's in WWE,
Right.
like you don't.
Right.
So let her.
She
do
wasn't
her
the
thing.
only non-main roster woman
Do you
on there.
Do you,
so I mean,
do you think Kelly Klein comes up too?
Oh, I don't know if they'll be able to get her from.
I'm
from
just
Ring of Honor
saying.
or not,
I'm
but
just saying. They
we
said
talked about this too. They've said that they're going to have 50 women competing on one night. Well, at some
That's a
point
lot.
you're going to have some kind of like a gimmicky match where a battle royal of some kind or something where you've got a lot of these competitors in one match
I
to
understand
get
that.
up to 50.
I understand that, but how many women are on a roster like that?
Yeah, no,
You
it's
know what I mean?
gonna
That's
they're
the
gonna
thing. They
have
have
to
to
pull
pull.
in some.
Yeah, they have to
but they
pull.
just signed a bunch of women for the Mae Young Classic, so they've
Well, the
got
UK, they
and
pulled
they've
a
got
lot
UK
from the UK
women too.
because of Pete Dune.
Yeah, Pete Dunne.
Dune.
Pete Dunne.
Pete Dune.
Pete Dunne.
I like him, by the way.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
Because it's sad.
I don't know if he's as high a
Well, you-
champion potential as.
Well, you said Vince likes him,
yeah, well, but
and
they
I
think
could
he's,
totally
like,
see that,
gonna
but
be the next great.
but I was with you on that. I was just he doesn't have.
He's awesome. He's good, but
That's another debate.
yeah.
So what's
I don't know if
the
he's
last
at
thing on
that-
here? What
Quite
you
at
got?
that level.
He's not. He's
No,
not.
I don't know.
No, I agree with you, man.
Yeah.
I agree with you. So what else we got here?
But he's young, so and there's not a lot of young guys. Speaking of not young guys, Triple H and The Undertaker are going to have one more match. And
What a
Triple H
debate.
went on
What a debate.
Monday Night Raw and cut a pretty good little promo.
I liked it. Fan.
He propped up NXT for doing a great job, said that main roster did a good job too, which I think NXT blew main roster out of the water over the
I
weekend.
agree.
But
God.
Yeah,
And that's
wasn't
sad.
close.
And that's sad. And that's D League, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Wasn't even close. You're right. Was not close at all.
No. Yeah.
I was not a fan of SummerSlam.
It wasn't that I wasn't a fan, because there was some good moments in SummerSlam.
I agree. but
Takeover was just better.
We had two DQs.
There was like
two DQs.
in title matches.
And Raw matches were longer than SummerSlam matches.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Not a good thing.
Not a fan.
Yeah, I know.
So
the Australian pay-per-view, I can't even remember.
that's
what
kind of
the name
interesting.
it. And they're doing this one last battle between the two. So
Well,
it'll be cool to see Undertaker back in the ring. I'm all for that. But
how long do you think it's actually going to be, though? I see it
It's
being
not
a
gonna be a long
short,
match.
quick match.
no, yeah.
They got things
Triple H
to do.
doesn't want to be in some 30-minute match.
Triple
and
H
neither does
don't want to do
Undertaker.
that.
Yeah.
And Undertaker's like,
It'll
dude,
be
I'm
like an
old.
8-minute match.
Yeah, it'll be short and sweet. Just look at, just watch SummerSlam.
Taker will probably mop
Just
the
watch
floor.
SummerSlam. Just watch SummerSlam. That was short and sweet. It's embarrassing. Brock
Yeah.
done in what, 10 minutes and 30
Yeah.
seconds, or 10 minutes and 15 seconds, or something like
Yeah,
that.
but he's got shit to do.
I understand
He
that.
can't be
But
getting
I understand that's what I'm saying. Like, but that's what they're setting
Mm-hmm.
up, and it's like, okay, so let me pay for that pay-per-view. It's basically a rerun of Monday Night Raw. But
Yeah, it's a glorified version of.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. And the thing that got me was that it was SummerSlam. It's one of the big four. We're not talking about Backlash or
Right.
any of the smaller pay-per-views
Right,
here. We're talking SummerSlam.
Right.
So everything that leads up to SummerSlam should be the big finale at SummerSlam.
Yes,
not
absolutely.
DQs, not leading up to more shit that's going to
sad.
happen on Monday or Tuesday.
sad.
Like, no, that's not what it's about. It's SummerSlam. It's supposed to be your second biggest event all year. It's
To
your
me-
mid-year WrestleMania.
Well, Jay, to me, it seems like, because they just hired new creative writers, right? What, a couple months ago,
Yeah,
right?
supposedly.
And so supposedly, right, try to make things, cleaned house. Try to make things, more spunk, more, get the eye opener reaction, the surprise, and the wrestlers will get the audience reaction,
Mhm.
right? And so that only happens when you're writing and you're building this character, and it just seems like characters have kind of gone downhill a little bit.
Oh, they have completely.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. They're better on SmackDown than they were here just 6 months ago. But it's weird. It's like SmackDown was good, and then Raw sucked.
Right,
And then Raw got better, and
Right.
SmackDown sucked.
right.
And then now
Now they just
SmackDown's
sold.
better, and Raw sucked.
Because SmackDown just sold, right? So now we, got to build up our.
Oh, well, yeah.
Our
Now
brand,
they've
right.
got some serious business to take care of with
Yeah,
SmackDown, because
Sports
it's
Night.
about to be on a broadcast network compared to a
Won't say the
cable network.
Yeah, I won't say the network, but yeah,
Yeah, no, it's going to be
it's gonna be big.
a lot bigger deal.
So they kind of made out on that.
Well, and I think that's a lot of the reason why they put the belt on Ronda too. I told you that before she won it, that it's pretty likely that they're going to put it on her, even though it's early and it's a little soon. That's a big deal when you're in a negotiating room, that Ronda Rousey is about to be one of our women's champions. She's about to be a belt carrier for our company.
And you know what? It's really fitting, and the way she took it, I didn't like her making out with her husband. I get it that was more trying to give him the audience a heartfelt, reaction, and this is real and true. I mean, that was cool, but 20 kisses ago, like, come on. So that was,
to be the baddest woman on the planet.
yeah, and so I get it. You didn't reel me in.
Yeah.
I didn't like the bait you threw in.
Yeah. See, I don't
But-
have any problem with what they've done with her.
No,
other than
no, that's
the
not what I'm
whole,
saying.
Stephanie thing.
Well, that's not what I'm saying. Is I like all that she's gotten and all that, but that was kind of ruined it for me when she was making out with her husband and shit.
Gotcha.
Like, it was cool till then.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, 1 and 2 pecks and then run off and then go in the ring.
That's fine. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Not sit there and make out with your husband.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because now, really, are you the baddest woman in the world? Like, are you saying?
Yeah. No, I got
Like,
you.
come on.
Yeah.
You're off character right there, and you need to keep your character.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are the things that she needs to learn, and she's slowly on that path to where she's learning and understanding.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to understand, like she said, that she had bigger butterflies
Yeah.
wrestling in WWE than the UFC.
Yeah, that's really
because
cool.
it's a different world.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it's entertainment. It's different ball game.
Right. Exactly. And that's what we're saying. Like, you can catch one punch and be out real quick, you know, but to sit there and do a match
And
when you
know
have
that-
people boo you for 15, 20 minutes is not the gimmick.
Chanting, "This is stupid."
Yeah,
or,
like, yeah,
"This is boring."
Right.
or
Yeah, this isn't the
doing
gimmick.
the wave and counting down the clock.
Yeah,
and-
counting down the clock. Oh, that was awesome. They turned it
Oh,
off
God.
so that people like turn it out their cell phones.
Yeah, exactly. So they started following the network.
Yeah, so they're all
On
counting.
their cell phones so that they could get the countdown because the clock was on TV.
Shut your face.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, shut your face. That's awesome.
Cannot stop the WWE universe.
So, I think this is a wrap. I think we've done a good job,
call
right?
it a show, I guess.
mean,
yeah. So thank you guys
kinda
for
wrapped it up.
listening.
Thank you.
Please click subscribe down below. Don't forget to click that little notification bell to receive notification when we post our new stuff. We're going to start
Every
posting
Thursday, right?
every Thursday. Well, we're going to record every Thursday. It's
And post
Thursday
Friday.
night right now. We're going to start posting on
That's
on
cool.
Friday.
So you don't have an
afternoon.
excuse that, hey, I had to work, so it's
So, yeah,
Friday.
you can-
So
Yeah,
Listen.
listen to us over the weekend while you're doing some yard work or whatever. and
yeah.
drinking some beers and
Or
sitting
drink one
around,
with us.
playing with your belly button on the front porch, whatever. You
Drink
know,
one with
whatever
us.
You want to do?
Not playing with my belly button.
No,
but,
don't play with our belly buttons.
Drink a beer with
Or
us.
tap the screen too. It's kind of weird too. So, anyway,
Right
thank you,
on.
folks. Thank you for listening. Very much
Word.
appreciated. Thank you. Let's see if we can get this thing to record some audio. I bet we can. Beaten.
I tell you what, yep.
Beaten.
Put a little elbow in it.
Beaten. Fucking idiot. Oh, shit, that's good. Beaten.